Did you get my text, Fritz?
Yep, I'm definitely in
Okay.
gallery view.
Okay, cool.
And then we are going to go live on Facebook. I need to log in as Segi. Marcus, do you want me to tag you?
Sure.
Okay.
There's a great brassy color on this, man.
On the Chardonnay.
Yeah.
I'm not joking. I think we just drank 2 bottles of this before the call. That's why I was pushing.
Yeah.
This is like, it's like the color of my first trumpet.
It's funny you say that. Do you know Blake, the guy that scores music? Blake, oh God, scores movies. Blake Lively or Blake?
Blake Lively's a smoking hot actress. I don't think it's her.
No, it's not her.
Mm-hmm.
No, definitely not her. That's why that's the first thing that pops to my head. So he scores like tons of movies. ATIO is like a huge sound like for movies and everything. They were just here and they were talking about trumpets and how like they record music for movies, and because of what's going on, trumpet is the worst instrument because of the spit.
Oh, all of the spray.
I was like,
Yeah, it's gotta go.
That Trump,
it's gotta go somewhere.
Some would argue that trumpet's the worst instrument. Just full stop.
We are almost ready.
Is my string close enough for you guys, or is this too far away? Are you guys good?
We're good if you're good.
Yeah.
We're pretty easy going.
I'm just jealous of the day you had.
I know, and it's never ending. Oh my God! It's like since we opened up every day, it's gonna be. When I was slow marinated for my life, I was used to this, and now that I'm back doing it again, I'm like, oh man, I have to start all over. Like
You got to build your stamina back up.
Yes. I should never have stopped during the quarantine.
Just for reference, are we gonna go Cab Franc before the Cab?
Yes.
Okay.
This has been the best part of the quarantine, drinking wine with people like you guys that are not here. It's such a different thing that we've been doing. And I could have been doing it for a while. Like, it's so different.
You have to clean up after us. And if you get tired of us, you just end the thing and be like, oh, I lost my service. I don't know what happened.
So weird. I don't know what happened.
Oh my God. I liked it in the beginning where it never ended. It was like midnight. I'm like, are you guys done drinking? People just bring out their guitar. You guys start singing.
Okay.
All right, we're almost live. We are live.
All right.
All right.
We're live.
Is this episode 21?
This is, we are officially at 20. No, this is 22.
22. All right.
Well, actually, no, it may be 21 because we haven't posted the last dealer's choice yet. So this is technically 21. So we are legal. This is the legal episode.
Perfect.
This is the we can now drink.
Yeah, we did. It's my first drink. I remember my first beer.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is going to be a fun one because we're drinking great wines that come from Brasswood. We've got Marcus here joining us. The only problem, and I want Marcus to introduce himself in a second, is that we didn't get mozzarella with our wine. So if there was a way you could have made that happen, Marcus, that would have been amazing.
I could have made that happen. I could have flown 3 chefs to your location, did personal mozzarella making. Oh man.
So we'll tell everybody a little bit about this real quick, is that if you go to Brasswood in Napa Valley, they have the most amazing mozzarella. And I'm not kidding you. I wake up and I think about this mozzarella in the morning. Like, I'll dream about it. It's that good. Pre-COVID times, they would do it tableside, where they just bring it in and, they're putting it on the bread, and it's just like, it's the most beautiful thing you've ever seen. And I'm thinking about just smelling this Chardonnay, which I smelled. Sorry guys, I didn't mean to get ahead of myself, but I smelled the Chardonnay, and then all I thought about was eating that mozzarella with this Chardonnay. But I'm getting excited. Marcus, say hi, tell everybody about yourself.
Well, hello everyone out there. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for having me. Brasswood is a unique and special place here in the Napa Valley. We're in St. Helena, north of the Culinary Institute of America, as a place that people have been to. And this Chardonnay has been one of those special wines that we had no idea was going to be such a demand. We only make 200 cases of this. And during our last 2 months, with the emails and our email campaign, we're down to 100 cases. And it represents Napa Valley in a positive, clean, full flavor, acid on the finish. If you love Chardonnay, you're going to love it. If you haven't been a fan of Chardonnay, this one might bring you back.
I mean, I get a lot of oak on the nose, and I get some citrus, almost like a tangerine maybe. Definitely some pear.
Yes. So that citrus is straight from the grape. The pear comes from the time we pick. It's the beauty of this vineyard. We're allowed to pick right at the optimal sugar level, and the pH of this wine complements it. So that's why it's so clean. It has a low pH and just flavorful. And Angelina Mondavi, so for those of you who don't know, Angelina Mondavi makes our wine. She's 4th generation Mondavi, only female winemaker in the family. And we're very lucky because she had got us these special barrels that her family has been working with for over 100 years. It's the Francois barrels. And so we age the Chardonnay in those barrels. So they do fermentation and malolactic fermentations in the barrels. And something that she does, which is a lot of work, is that we stir the barrels once a week until bottling. So for 14 months, we have solid crew taking our Chardonnay barrels, stirring them, making sure the lees gets the contact throughout the wine. And it comes with the beautiful color that you see here and the complexity of it, but also keeps it crisp.
Yeah, it's got a really nice nose on it. I'm getting honeysuckle. I'm getting orange peel, like a subtle orange peel, not super strong. Just really, really nice nose on it.
And some green apple.
Green apple.
Yeah.
Is that on the wheel?
It's on the wheel.
Board.
It's cut off. It's right up at the top. So we make this wheel so that we can help with the vocabulary, because sometimes we forget what we're tasting and we don't be too off the mark. It's the green apple, the honeysuckle, David, what did you say was in there in your initial flavor profile?
I got, which David, I guess.
Oh, the first one.
I got on my first whiff, I got some oak and I got a real subtle, like that tangerine. I think that might be the orange peel that Dave is getting.
Exactly.
And then I get some more pear as it kind of like opens up.
So this with the mozzarella, that it's a perfect pairing, but brie, cheese, nectarine, tangerine, all those like dried fruits, candied walnuts, like having that like before you're making dinner and then throwing it in a big halibut or a whitefish, and then bringing back Chardonnay to the dinner table is such a cool thing because it gives you the precursor to your red wines. And this one, when we keep releasing, we release it every year for Valentine's Day. And I'm always like, oh my God, I want to bring this to my friend's house. But it's always hard to bring a Chardonnay to Cabernet. You're like,
yeah.
So, no, because right here I have in the room, because we social distance, is executive chef. You have to cross over. He heard about the request. See, he hears you guys.
Oh, nice. Oh,
What you guys were talking
so
about.
jealous.
Oh,
Look
man.
at
That.
That's so mean.
that. That is mean.
It's
Brutal. Look at that.
Last time, here you go. So for every, how do we do this right here? It's made to order. So David, maybe you can describe what this is going on.
Yeah, I mean, basically what you have is magic right there. We talked about magic in our sort of pre-video conversation. This is the real magic.
So David, what is this?
Well, okay. First of all, it's very simple. And it looks awesome, but it's very simple, but it's very tricky also. It's a way. You got to know how to work it out. Otherwise, you work it too much, and it's not good. First of all, you got the mozzarella curd, which is you send it to me for like 200 pounds a week. On the other side, we got the nice grilled bruschetta with a little bit of garlic and rosemary, sea salt, extra virgin olive oil.
One for you, and one for
you. Anyway, well, and then I hope you guys enjoy it, though.
Yeah, so we have made this where it's made to order. It's a perfect pairing for the Chardonnay. When we made the Chardonnay and David was making the mozzarella, we had no idea that it was going to be such a great thing. So when you do visit the property, if you ask for me, I will buy you a mozzarella. Anybody that comes.
And maybe I'll make it.
Maybe David will.
Well, guys,
so I can give away anything, and we'll see what happens. But I would ask for me.
It's a pleasure talking to you guys.
It's a pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you.
We look forward to seeing you when this is all over. It's not if, it's a matter of when right now, particularly after this presentation.
Yeah. I mean, that's a nice flex. You have an executive chef coming into your Zoom. Only thing you're going to get from any of us is maybe like a 3 or 4-year-old coming in to crash the party.
I was heard mozzarella. I was like, I need the mozzarella. That's the trouble with me. Like, you say something that I want, and I'm like, my brain goes, how can I make that happen?
I mean, it's such an amazing thing. And Marcus, correct me if I'm wrong. For a while, it was off menu. Is it still off menu?
Yes, it was off menu because it was something that an iconic restaurant in St. Helena closed down in 2015. It was called Trevigny. Mm-hmm. And the team from Trevigny was so loyal. David worked there for 15 years. The GM, dishwashers, somms, bartenders, servers. And we were opening up at that same time. And it just worked like magic where I was able to bring the whole team over and open up Brasswood with that team. And that was one of those recipes that came from an iconic restaurant and also a really well-known chef, Michael Chiarello. And so it was off menu as a special because they wanted to stand on their own feet, if you will. But this, look at it, it's like TV magic. Now it's all cut up.
Oh, beautiful.
I might get in my car and drive there right now.
Be there tomorrow.
We're trying to figure out how we can send it out, but like David is so humble. It's so hard to do, like the temperature of the water, the amount of how many times you pull it to make it, and the olive oil. Like we give classes and we do things where you could do parties.
I'll volunteer to be an
intern?
a test subject for the mailing of that.
I would love to send it up there because it is, because that's what the beauty of, you eat it warm, you can smell the rosemary, you can smell the olive oil, the sea salt, it melts in your mouth, it completely makes you drink a bottle of this with one order of mozzarella. It's pretty fun.
So DR, I'm getting a lot of that pear on the flavor, and like
Yeah.
right on the finish, I'm getting almost like buttered green apple. Like it's got a little bit of that, a little bit of that
oakiness,
a little bit of that tart, but that oakiness is kind of flowing right on top of it. It's really nice. Really,
yeah. We
it's
talked about
really,
the color before we got on, right? I mean, it's just
yeah.
a real beautiful color. Sig, I think you had a great descriptor for it.
Yeah, I said it looked brass. No, I said it looked like my first trumpet. It's a very brassy color.
I need to write that down. I need a pen.
That's a great. I mean, that's a great one. That really is a good descriptor. What I like about this, and again, you were talking about how difficult it is to take a Chardonnay to like a wine or a cab party, right? Because you get a lot of people that poo-poo the Chardonnays. But this would be one that you would take and be like, oh, you don't like Chardonnay? Try it.
Right.
Just try it. I would love to pair this with like some grilled shrimp and like a garlic linguine kind of a thing. I think this would just be fantastic. I think it would stand up to food, but I also think it's just good enough to have, as you were saying, as you're making food. You know, you got some cheese, some candied nuts, and you're sipping on this as you're preparing your food, and then you sit down and you crack open a big cab. I think there's a lot of ways you could go with this. It's really, really a beautiful wine.
And that is what I fell in love with this. This is our second vintage of this wine, and that's exactly what's happening. It's becoming a starter wine. People finish it with dessert. We do a dessert that has the Chardonnay, but if you do take it to a dinner party, you'll find someone that monopolizes that wine, and then it's gone. You're like,
it's gone. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Like,
I believe it.
2 or 3 bottles per party.
Hey, Brits, you know what you should be pairing this with tonight?
What's that?
You should head over to Hollywood, over to Mozza, get a nice wood-fired thin crust pizza.
Oh yeah, that's a good call. Some artichoke hearts.
Yeah, just like a veggie or margarita, would crush with this. Those burnt crisps of the crust would go really well with this.
Absolutely. That's a good
Have
call.
you been to Tess in LA?
What's up?
Have you been to Tess?
I have not.
They have a charcuterie plate that takes up the whole table. Charcuterie and cheese. This would be so fun to sit there. It's in West Hollywood. I don't know if it's open, but if it is, that's one that you should check out just for the charcuterie alone.
I'm big into the charcuterie, so that makes a lot of sense. I think, this makes me. I think DR mentioned, the whole idea of garlic with this.
Oh yeah, garlic linguine. Some say anything. He said garlic bruschetta, and I was like, oh yeah.
That's
Yeah.
what this is.
It's garlic with like this. This would complement, you know, the boldness of garlic really well. So I like in my head right now, I'm thinking about what I could eat with this that would have garlic as a real prominent element. That's right where my head's at right now. But the pizza too. I mean, definitely could have garlic with my pizza. Not opposed to that.
We
Just,
do a grilled like whole chicken with just a head and a half of garlic. That would be phenomenal with this.
yeah.
Oh my gosh. Do you guys have more than one bottle? We're gonna have to send you some more because you're making my mouth water, and the wine is right in front of me. So good.
Well, Mark,
I would love more Chardonnay.
this is our 21st episode, so we're getting pretty good at this whole thing now.
I'm glad I came at this point because you guys are like, I'm like, can you come in and work our property when you guys are off not making music? And
Oh, you mean all year? For sure.
I said it's not a matter of if, it's just a matter of when right now.
yeah, if you guys come, it's all the wine you can drink. You just have to talk about it all day to keep people that visit.
You should have seen us on episode 1. We didn't even know. We had no idea what we were doing.
That's
Literally just for fun. I mean, it's still just fun, right? It's still just fun. You're like, it's a quarantine. We're all kind of stuck at home. It's good to see these guys, right? And to talk with new people and drink some new wine. So why wouldn't we?
We have fun doing it, and you know, to be able to, you know, geek out about these things that we really enjoy, you know, being food and wine, and talk to people like yourself and get to try these things and really, you know, explain to people who may be checking this out, you know, about these wines and about this food and how they can discover this stuff, and you know, how they can acquire these wines, and you know, how wines don't always have to be special event things. You know, a lot of times people feel like, oh, I'm gonna buy wine and then I need to put it in my cellar and it's a special event thing. And you know, wine and celebrations can occur at any time. And I think the beautiful thing about what I think COVID has taught us is that we really need to celebrate this moment, because you never really know what's going to happen or how things can change. So, you know, instead of like waiting on things, let's celebrate right now.
Yes.
Yeah.
Carpe diem. I've always had a love for that term, carpe diem. Live in the moment.
But we love to quote sideways too, right? Like opening a nice bottle of wine is the special occasion. So.
That is true. I used to be a champion for champagne because everyone thought champagne should only be open during celebration. I was like, drink that when you are driving. Oh, not driving. Drink that
driving to work in the morning. Wait, what?
Well, if you have
If
you have a self-driving Tesla, fine, go ahead. You know, do your thing.
When you're driving.
I think the police might argue with that, but
tint the windows.
To each his own.
Sit in the back.
But honestly, bubbles are the best way to start the day. You know, because we've been in quarantine and have zero responsibilities other than our children. My wife and I will just, you know, it'll be like 10 a.m. and it'll be like, some sparkling rosé? Sure. Okay. You know, get it going, you know, like champagne, sparkling wine. It doesn't need to be for a special occasion. Just needs to be when you're thirsty, and that's it.
Yes.
I admit I recently have been appreciating a lot of the sparkling wine, champagne, more than I think I have in the past.
It's a beautiful thing, and it's, you know, it's not just a Sunday brunch thing. I mean, you know, we've talked before. You know, I'm definitely especially when I'm traveling. And, you know, you go to the bar and you're going to have your first drink. You know, for me, typically, you know, and these guys will attest to it, my first drink is, you know, a glass of champagne or a sparkling wine of some sort. That's sort of my changeover from the day into the evening. So that's where the switch occurs. So I love starting with a glass of sparkling, then moving into, you know, to everything else.
For me, it's always like when the server comes up to the table and is like, can I get you anything? it's easier to say, can I get a glass of champagne? And then you have time to read the menu. It's like, it like gives you a buffer. So it's like, they'll bring you a glass. It's like sparkling water. It's just like champagne. And then it's like, okay, let's start.
You're literally buying yourself time.
Exactly.
It's great. It's good for everybody. It's good for you. It's good for the server. It's good for the restaurant.
It's a while to find the bottle of champagne anyways. They have to go like pull it out, and they have to get the bucket. They have to get the serviette, the towel. They have to come. So you have like 15 minutes before they come back to your table.
No, I love it. Should we jump into the Cab Franc?
We're going Cab Franc next?
Yeah, so this is a special wine that we, as a property, find that most people gravitate to. So something unique about Brasswood, or something to know about Brasswood, is that we're a winery that only makes wine from vineyards we own. So we only make wine from our properties, and on this 10-acre property in Coonsville, we make Cabernet Sauvignon and Cabernet Franc. And we only make about 400 cases of this Cab Franc, and it is literally a fruit forward flower, how do you say that word? Lilac that shows up on this, and it is the color, the density, the structure, the cleanliness on the palate. This wine is truly a big red wine from Napa in the Cab Franc.
I mean, the color is amazing. This is a deep purple. I mean, this is.
I mean, it really is. Look at that.
This is
I mean,
nice and
dark.
dark.
All the way to the edge.
This is natural. You guys have to come out during harvest. In 24 hours, when we're cold soaking the cab, when we're bringing it in from harvest, after we optical sort it, making sure that all the perfect berries make it into the tank. Then we cold soak it, and all the berries are on the top, the juices, on the bottom. This is the color that happens. That vineyard, we don't struggle. Some vineyards struggle to get color. For some reason, Coonsville, I mean, from our cab to this wine, it is so beautiful.
Oh yeah, I'm a big fan of Coonsville, and that's the most recent AVA in Napa, right? Coonsville was the last.
What other Coonsville wines do you tend to drink?
Well, I mean, it's a lot of cabs, but there's a lot more wines coming out of Coonsville than there have, in recent times than than there were in.
So Coonsville has been around, obviously, in Napa Valley for a long time. It's the newest AVA, like you said, that was just recognized. But a lot of the wineries from Oakville, Rutherford, they would use Coonsville fruit to add complexity, flavor, texture to their wines, and they never really gave Coonsville the credit. Now, through the Coonsville Association, and they became an AVA, now we're seeing more and more 100% Coonsville wines out there in the market. What's his name? Andy Erickson is a great example of using Coonsville.
Absolutely.
Bayard uses Coonsville. Angelina, we use Coonsville. And it's the best of both worlds. We get kind of the mountain fruit flavor, but also the valley floor heat. So it allows ripening, and then it cools it down. So instead of staying hot all day and having to throw water on your vineyards, it actually makes the grapes strain and get concentrated. And then during the cool, it just like relaxes them and they can rest. Where when it's too hot, you're trying to add water to get them back to a plumpness so they don't shrivel up and turn into raisin.
Yeah, and again, when the grapes get too hot, you're producing too much sugar, which gets your higher alcohol wines too, because heat equals sugar equals higher alcohol, as well. So you get into that problem. And guys, I was just trying to remember the last Coombsville wine we had, which was the AJ Pierce that we had with Andy Renda. That was a Coombsville Cabernet.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. I need to try that one. I've never tried. It's called AJ Pierce.
AJ Pierce. Andy Renda runs the Wine Thief in downtown Napa, which is across from the Oxbow. So they've got tons of different brands in there. They've got his own brand AJ Pierce, but they've got Perlou.
I love Perlou.
Yeah.
Perlou's good.
Peach. So Julian Fayard.
That's Julia Fayard.
Yeah.
La Piche is one of my favorite wines on the wine list out here in Napa Valley. It's like $75 a bottle, $85 on the wine list. And when, hands down, it was like my go-to wine. He raised the prices last year. So now they bumped it up, but it is truly his labels, everything about. And before I knew who Julian was, I for some reason thought it was a female winemaker. And so I would always say like, oh, I love the winemaker at La Piche. She's amazing. Not knowing, I don't know why I thought Julian was a female name. I don't know. It's funny.
No, it's I think it's a great value for the quality.
Great
But
value.
when we were talking about Coombsville, I was like, all right, we've had some Coombsville wines, and I think we've had a few others, on past episodes, and I've definitely consumed my fair share. But the AJ Pierce was one of the more recent ones.
Yeah, so our property is 10 acres. It's on the corner of First and North. It is all grapes planted. We have a little Petit Verdot and Malbec on that property. But besides the Cab Franc, we have Cabernet, Sauvignon, 2 clones, 337 and 7. And we just planted a new clone 4, that we're excited to get fruit off of maybe this year or next year.
I mean, this to me smells like a beautiful, beautiful Napa Valley wine. I mean, the clove on this is really present. What else am I getting?
I'm getting a ton of that, just fresh cracked pepper.
Yeah.
Some cigar box in there.
Oh yeah, definitely the cigar, maybe even like cedar. But I was getting some of that like dark dry fruit, like maybe even a fig at first, but now that it's opening up, it's kind of
It's
going
funny
more
because
yeah.
when I smell this wine, I can smell harvest. And it literally from the bringing in the fruit to the tank to when it goes into barrel. And then I can smell the cedar and like what you guys are smelling from the barrel profile. But like you said, this is truly a Napa Valley wine. If you did a lineup, it's not Burgundy, it's not Bordeaux, it's definitely not Burgundy, but it's not Bordeaux, it's not a cab from Sonoma side. You can really smell the Napa Valley in this wine. That's what I love about Angelina's winemaking. She lets the grapes speak for themselves, if you will. Like the flavor profile is what we do here, and the richness, the growing region and the growing is so hard to replicate. It is, as you guys know, you guys come out here, it's such a great area to grow anything from vegetables to vegetation to grapes, and it makes it really easy to ripen fruit. And when you have the ability to ripen fruit at the way you want to harvest, you can make beautiful wine and you don't have to manipulate it. And it's really, really cool to like go back and revisit these wines and really smell harvest.
Yeah, it's got a great nose on it. What are you guys getting on the palate?
I mean, the mouthfeel is great. Great tannins. It's just kind of sapping that moisture out. It's dry like you want a big, wine of the Napa Franc or a Cab to be. But it's finishing. I mean, it's finishing clean, right? I really enjoy it.
So something about Brasswood is that we have our own lab on our property, and it's something that's state of the art. It's over the top, and that allows us to really focus on the cleanliness of our wine. So we don't have to send our wine samples off to a third-party lab, which is very common and I mean, you can make 100-point wines during that. But we have this on property, so we are able to keep our pH at a level that gives you that clean characteristics that you were mentioning. And it's a lower pH than normal, without compromising the quality of the wine, but it gives you that cleanliness property of the flavor. And what I always tell people, you can drink bottles of Brasswood and not have a hangover.
And at 15.1% alcohol,
that's why earlier when you're talking about like ripening and sugar and the alcohol control, I'm like, oh, our vineyards do high alcohol. We don't try to get that high. It just happens, and we don't water it down or try to take the alcohol out of there because we feel that it's able to, the alcohol is able to be carried with the flavor of the wine.
So the experience that I'm having with the tannins are really interesting. Something I don't think I've experienced before. It's, you know, you take the sip and you get it all over your mouth. The tannins get a firm grip of you just for a minute and then just kind of let it go.
Yeah.
It's like,
I agree.
I'll equate it to like, if you're going on a roller coaster, you're going up to the top, that split second before you feel that free fall, that's kind of what I'm experiencing with these tannins. Like it just boom, hits you and then lets you go right away. It's really nice. And like, I really enjoy it.
And so, Sagi, that's exactly what I love about our wines, is because when you're eating with these wines, you want to be able to taste the food that you're eating, and then the wine. So when you're going back and forth, like you get to taste the wine, your palate gets cleansed, you eat your steak, you can taste the steak, then you go back to the wine, you can taste the wine, because when one over dominates the other, then you're just like, oh, I like the taste of the wine, and then you're like just eating. So the acid on the wine, it's hard to do because you can it can be too much, right? Like you can have too much acid on a wine and then it tastes like water. It just drops off too quickly. This has a lingering flavor on your palate, but enough to, it's like a great cigar. You know when you smoke a Cuban and it doesn't feel like you're smoking anything? And it's just like, holy cow, how did I smoke a cigar and I can still taste? That's exactly like the wines.
Yeah, this is the tannins. The tannins are exactly where they should be on this wine. Definitely getting the guys make fun of me because I pull this card a lot, but definitely getting a little white pepper on this.
What?
No way.
I know.
I promise you, there is no Zinfandel in this bottle.
That's okay. We make fun of Brits because I think his nose is tuned to white pepper.
That's funny. Now I have to smell it.
I actually put white pepper on our grocery list so that I could like experience the raw white pepper. Apparently, it's a lot spicier than regular pepper. So Tyler, beware.
Right.
I didn't even know there was a thing. I swear to God.
Yeah, white pepper is huge, and it's really big out here in Zinfandel. So Zinfandel from the foothills, you get tons of white pepper.
Are you guys getting a little sage on this?
But now that you mention it,
Do you guys have our notes in front of you?
Do you have the what?
The tasting notes of the wine?
I do. I love that tasting wheel.
Oh, you have the tasting wheel in front of you too. You have the notes that talks about the wine?
I try not to look at that stuff when I taste, because I feel like when I read it, then I'm looking for it, And then I'm like, oh yeah, obviously this is, you know.
Well, that's how I went with white pepper. I'm like, oh, I smell white pepper.
No, I didn't. I'm just looking at the notes right now.
What does it say? I don't have it in front of me, so I'm just curious if there was sage in there, because sage is such a.
It's a perfect pairing.
Yeah, it's.
Here we go.
It's got aromas of dark chocolate and espresso lead into a melange of blueberry, black cherry, and a hint of earthy tobacco and cedar. This is a medium-bodied wine with bright acidity. Definitely getting the bright acidity. I didn't pick up the espresso note at all. Definitely get the blueberry, black cherry vibe though. That's there and present.
So it's interesting. So for those of you that are watching, if you guys Google biodynamic tasting or biodynamic farming, it has a lot to do with the flavors that you are smelling and tasting. And normally when we do blendings, we will do it on fruit and flower days, because that's when the earth and the moon and the pressure really allows the aromas to come through. And when it's a soil and root day, that's when more of the earthiness and the roots come out to the flavor. And my phone is charging. I have the app on my phone, but I'm curious to see what the biodynamic says we're doing right now for us, because I normally always get the espresso and the chocolate and the Cab Franc, but it's totally muted right now. I'm getting the other things that you said, the cedar and all that. So yeah. I'm curious if it's a soil or root hour, because
you know where. Sorry, go ahead, finish.
No, it's just because of that.
I was gonna say, once I heard him say espresso, on the finish, I'm getting a similar finish to like an espresso martini. It's the weight of the espresso, but kind of muted because of the vodka, right? So yeah. That's what I'm kind of getting on the finish.
Awesome. That is so cool.
I mean, I'm a Cab Franc.
No, it's so funny that you said espresso martini, because that's a big, it's come back to vogue here in Napa Valley. Everyone makes espresso martinis and drinks espresso martinis. I think I must have had 20 in the last 2 weeks.
I love espresso martinis. I've started making them at home.
Espresso.
Home? Oh my God, that's so awesome. So a real quick story, if we have time. My sister was visiting, and people come to Napa and they're always like, I don't want to say the wrong thing, like a wine tasting or whatever. And I'm like, Tony, it's not a big deal. So we're at Press, the steakhouse. Have you guys all been to Press?
Yeah.
Do you know Press? So we're sitting at the bar, and she was like, to the bartender, she's like, would you mind, can I get an espresso martini? And she looked at me, she's like, please, like, whatever. And I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe you ordered that. He literally shows us the menu, and it's all world's best espresso martini. Like, everyone makes them, and they're so good. It's
they're very good.
In the world right now.
I still am not getting that. So Segi, I'm glad you got it. I'm not picking that up. I think I gotta put more in my glass to see if I get it. And then the other thing is I worry is because I'm core-venting this. Am I not getting the same flavor profile?
So that's a good question. Coravin is a device. I don't know. You probably talked about this before in all your other weeks. It's a device that was curated and created for wine drinkers to drink ounces at a time to not ruin the bottle. And it's supposed to keep the wine that's left in the bottle with less oxygen to not age the wine at a rapid pace, as if you took the cork out of the bottle. Coravin wine, when you put it in a glass, needs to aerate. So as much as you can swirl that wine to open it up, I mean, we've been on the call for now probably like 15 or 20 minutes, which should 30 minutes, 40 minutes. Oh my god.
Going for a while.
Really, I don't even know. This is like relaxing for me because I've been doing 100 different things at once. So I'm like, no one's gonna bother me when I'm like doing this. I don't have to check my phone. I don't have to do any of it.
Oh, it's beautiful.
But when you Coravin, you're pouring something that hasn't seen any oxygen, so it definitely needs to take time to open up and get those.
DR, are you getting it? You didn't Coravin.
I didn't. No, I did not get the espresso.
I'm not getting it right now, but I normally have in the past.
Yeah.
Actually, now I just poured a new one, and I get more coffee ground now, and I don't know if I'm talking about it, but I'm totally getting.
I just poured the cab.
Yeah. Do you guys want to drink this Cab Franc with a really big steak? Because I do.
Yes, absolutely. You know what else though? I could do I feel like the Cab Franc screams for like a skirt steak, a nice soy marinated, some garlic marinated skirt steak. I think that'd be phenomenal with this wine.
Oh, that's really cool. I've never had it with the soy garlic. That's almost like, because it's hard to eat or drink Cabernet, Cab Franc with Asian food because it's usually spicier or have so much flavor going on. But with the simple soy garlic skirt steak.
On like a skirt steak, just a simple soy garlic marinade, grill, nice medium rare. I think it'd be brilliant with this.
Yeah, I hear you on that. I'm also thinking a short rib ragu too would be a lot of fun with this.
That's your jam.
I do like short
rib
ribs.
ragu.
You know we do that.
I did it.
That's our #1 selling dish besides the mozzarella. Is our proper deli short rib ragu.
See what I just did there, Marcus? Was a soft sell.
I know.
Even a broken clock is right twice a day.
Episode 21, baby. We're getting this down.
No wonder Brits likes this mozzarella, short rib ragu. Come on, fans.
Yeah, it's so funny because David, our chef, I was like, God, this ragu is so rich. Well, he has access to as much wine as he wants to reduce it. So he's reducing our wine to make this ragu for like 18 hours. And it's so rich, falls off the bone with pasta that they make daily. It is like, I mean, eat the whole meal and I'm like, oh my God, I should not be eating all of this right now. It is one of my favorite. I get that. I get the duck bolognese. I get the spaghetti with the clams.
Oh yeah, for sure. Any bowl, I feel like, you know, that nice rich pasta, you know, some meatballs in there. Oh man, any of that.
So Marcus, before we move on to the cab, can you let everyone know where they can find your wines and bring some home to themselves to try some of this goodness?
As we were talking before, we are a small winery. We make 1,500 cases. We only sell our wine on the property, so you have to visit Brasswood to get the wine. We do have an online web purchasing, so you can do it online and order the wines. We are not in distribution, so your local merchant probably would not have heard about us. We're not in any restaurants, even our other restaurants that we have. I always get yelled at from the other restaurants are like, why won't you sell to us? Because, and one of the reasons is we don't make enough. We don't make a lot of it. So if we have this beautiful property, 57 acres of a restaurant, tasting room, bakery, sensory room, and gallery, and we want to make sure that the wine is available for the guests that visit us. But we would love for you to try our wines before you come out. So by going to our website, ordering through the web portal, or you can email me or anybody, and we can curate a package specific for you. And you too can do a virtual tasting with us, and we can talk about the wine, and we can do it with your friends. We could do it with anybody you like. So yeah, so online. we're doing something that's going to be new now that we're out of COVID. Is we're gonna set up a virtual studio, and if you visit Brasswood, we're gonna allow you, if you want, to jump on the studio and log onto your Facebook or Instagram and do a tasting for your friends at Brasswood, so you can be your
That's
own.
cool.
Very cool.
We have the lights and we'll make it fun, almost like a fun like wine tasting for the people that can't come.
You know what? I've told friends this before, is that you can go to Brasswood and you can make a entire day of just being at Brasswood. You don't have to, because the whole idea of being in the valley is you want to go to different places, you want to try different wineries, you want to have different experiences, but you can go to Brasswood and you can have an experience with, several different wineries, but never have to leave one location. And I think that is the beauty of what you guys do. You can be there. I can have a Brasswood wine tasting. I can do parallel. I can do moonshine. I can do modus operandi. I can have lunch in your restaurant, and I don't have to leave, and everything is in one place. So my transportation drops me off and picks me up in the same place.
And you get to see, Steve from Moonside and Adrian from Parallel and all those, and Jason Moore from Modus, and all in one place. They all are here most of the time. So this is kind of fun. So I think I need you guys to say Lamborghini or something, because now I have a freaking espresso martini.
Oh my gosh. As if we weren't jealous enough of the mozzarella and the garlic bruschetta. Now you've got an espresso martini.
Oh my God. This is like the
Man,
that doesn't happen in my house. If I say like, sirloin steak, it doesn't just show up, that.
Right? I'm like, you guys are.
Hold on. I've got an experiment. How good does 1 million copies of One Shot by Straight No Chaser sound right now?
Sounds amazing.
I'm going to give it 5 minutes and see what happens.
I know that you, these are your fans and followers of Straight No Chaser, but can you tell me what you guys are up to? Are you allowed to talk about yourself to me?
Oh man, let me tell you, we've been crazy busy doing nothing, sitting at home under this quarantine. We've tried to do as much as we can to still bring music to people, because now more than ever, people need an escape. Being stuck at home with your family and your kids, and the news 24/7, just everything going on. Getting that couple minutes for a song is great. So we've been putting out these quarantine sessions every Wednesday, and recording them remotely, and then putting together kind of a Brady Bunch style video with the song itself. And we've been trying to do some happy hours with fans, and we're actually working on a new album, so we're all recording from home. There's a lot going on. We're trying to maximize what we can do while we're apart, which is tough, but not impossible. But yeah, our newest quarantine session was actually released today. It's our version of I'm Yours, matched up with Somewhere with a Rainbow and a couple of Bob Marley tunes. And we've actually attached a charity along with this one specifically to ask people to donate to the NAACP. So for anyone listening, obviously you're fans, so you've probably seen it, but you could see it on our Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, SNC Music. If you just click on the link, you'll see a link that'll take you to donate right there. But
Straight No Chaser on your Facebook and Instagram.
Yep, SNC Music on all the socials, and you'll find all that good stuff.
I will be donating and
thank you.
And I will definitely. That's my wife's from Hawaii, so anything reggae or anything island, she is definitely a fan of. And
yeah, you'll dig this song then, for sure.
Perfect. And one of the things, talking earlier about these music people, that they hire musicians to make sounds for movies. It's like write this down, ADIO, it's a company that's out there that they do it. They were saying that, getting all those musicians to make music, it's like a different world right now of getting you guys to record and everything about it. But we were talking about Zoom, and Blake, that is like the biggest scorer of movies, he was saying like, what the problem with Zoom is that like right now, if you guys all try to play, only one person can speak at a time.
Yeah.
And it's edited. So we're trying to come up with a software for entertainment, because I don't think this is going to go away, but like everything out there is like, edited to make you guys all sound together. You guys can just all talk at the same time right now, which is weird.
We experimented with that using Zoom for that, and the outtakes are absolutely hilarious. I mean, just priceless. We posted some of them online. I highly recommend you go find them because they're
I can't wait now.
Amazing.
But isn't that funny how it works? Like they never would have thought that who's going to talk at the same time?
All right, let's dive into this cab because
nice.
It is mouth watering. I'm just like smelling it and just.
So this is what we're known for. We are here in St. Helena. We're in cab country. Cab is king. Napa Valley is known for the Cabernet Sauvignon. We search out for the best Cabernet vineyards that we can afford and buy. And we have these Coonsville Cabernet Sauvignon. 337 is the clone. 7 is the other clone. One is more earthy. One is more fruit forward. You guys all have it in front of you. Yep, perfect.
Got a little drip. A little drip there.
Love it. And it is 99% Cabernet, 3 barrels, Terenceau, Demtos, and D'Anjou, all French owned, all have a different job with the cab where it's either in the front, middle, or finish of the palate. 1% a Petit Verdot. And when Angelina is blending and we're tasting the wines, that 1% just gave it a little bit of oomph for longevity, and just it's funny how 1% can make a difference, because we tried 2% of Petit Verdot and it wasn't the same wine. So 99% Cabernet Sauvignon, 1% Petit Verdot. What are you guys smelling?
Get a lot of leather.
Yeah, I'm getting a cedar. Yeah, leather thing. Getting a little bit of pepper.
I can see all those. I get that plus the baking spice is pretty prominent for me.
So my wife is making some roasted green beans with garlic. So I have just an amazing smell of that garlicness already as like my base. So it's kind of throwing my ability to get into that note. I'll say when I took a sip though, my mouth was already watering from not just the aroma of the wine, but the aroma of everything that's going on here. And I took a sip and it finished, and it was so juicy on the finish that my mouth started watering even more.
Yeah, that's awesome. And that's the concentration of the Cabernet and the acidity on the finish. But isn't it really cool, because you guys are all over where you guys are at, but you guys are drinking a pure Napa Valley wine. Like I will show you the vineyards, show you where the rows are. There's no manipulation to this wine. It is truly Napa Valley grapes in this wine. I mean, you guys are drinking some of the, I mean, it's awesome. Everyone here in the Valley, we're very fortunate. They all make great wine. They all have their own unique flavor profiles. And when you get to drink this in your own home, it's like, it's so cool. There's no other place like it where you could drink someone's, like, you could buy California tomatoes or California avocado, but, Napa Valley wine is a little different. Like, it's so cool that you guys can experience this. So cheers to drinking.
Yeah, cheers to that.
Here's, we always say how lucky we are to get to, you know, experience these wines and to share them with people, because, you know, here we go, the art in the bottle conversation again. But, you know, literally that's what it is. And, you know, what is done there is artisan. It's artists making something that is one of a kind. Each bottle is unique, each vintage is unique, and, you know, they're sharing that with the world. And we get to be in all these different places and get to, you know, share in this, you know, artisan experience, you know, that only occurs, you know, in the Napa Valley, which is wonderful. And this is, you know, I mentioned the baking spice, but you know, it's really strong on the palate. I just went back to the notes, and baking spice is on there, so I nailed that. Just for the record.
Right here, cloves, cinnamon, no cinnamon, cloves. White pepper's in there, actually.
Ooh.
Hey.
There's white pepper.
Hey, did I mention that there's white pepper on here?
Hello.
What kind of chef are you?
People are saying hello. They want what a chef you are.
I'm not a chef.
You're not a chef. Sure you are.
No, I'm not.
Yeah,
Bet
this,
you can make a
Do you
mean bowl
want some
cereal.
wine?
No.
No.
Oh my God, you have
I don't
two.
want some wine.
How many do
Oh
you
yeah, I got two.
have?
There we go. This one's Owen and this one's Dylan.
what's up, fellas?
Dylan thinks that he loves wine.
As you should. We'll make you into a winemaker for your dad. Then he can.
Would you like to be a winemaker, Dylan?
No.
No, he would not like to be a winemaker. All right, boys.
That's a good gig, man.
It's not a bad gig. It's an essential job. We never shut down during this whole thing. So
Exactly.
So on the finish, I'm getting this interesting combo
Wanna
of
try
like
it?
fig and tobacco.
yeah, so it's 2016. So this is a 4-year-old wine. It's going to peak right there at the 5th year, and from 5 to 7 years, and then it's going to go into the age bracket where it's going to show the fruit and the softness of it after that. So we have about 3 more years of this, like being where it's a young wine, really fun to drink, and that flavor profile we just said really shows up in the finish. But it's totally, what I love about this wine, it has the tannins, but it doesn't like rip the enamel off your teeth. It's enough to like let you, again, you could follow it up with a bigger Cabernet. Like if you were having this Cabernet for dinner, you can go sit by a pool or the fireplace and have another Cabernet bigger than this. And you'll be able to taste it. It's not like the biggest cab that's gonna destroy your palate. It's elegant enough to be shared with dinner, and then also big enough to have on its own. But
Yeah, I'm mostly getting back palate. Back palate is really where I'm getting the sweet spot for this one.
And I think to that point, this would be a great wine, you know, if you don't have the pleasure of enjoying the Chardonnay before dinner. This would be one that you could to have with the charcuterie before dinner.
Yeah.
Sit down and start enjoying dinner at the same time with this. Like, I think this can go, that's the beauty, I think, of this cab, is that it can be enjoyed just by itself, or it can stand up to a nice, you know, steak. Britt's probably going to say beef tip ragu.
I'm gonna go get that bowl. I'm gonna go get the short ribs.
It just shows up in front of Marcus. Short rib ragu is just there.
Can I get a short rib, please?
What magical place are you, Marcus? I want to be there. Where you just...
I have this piece of stuff here. That is.
I want an espresso martini, some more good cab, and a big steak.
You know, and it's so funny because I know, and that's what's so great about this Cabernet. In that sense, it's like, when you said charcuterie, I'm like, of course you could drink it. But for you three drinking the 3 different wines can you see the consistency of the three wines? The mouthfeel, like it's like a complimentary. Like that should be a normal dinner, right? Like Chardonnay, Cab Franc, and Cabernet. Like that would be an awesome pairing if we had a dinner where you have all three wines on the table, and your wife brought out a nectarine salad, and then you had, you know, a lamb chops with your thing, and then you finished with steak on a cab. And that would be fun.
Well, to DR's point about drinking this, you know, sort of pre-dinner, you know, at 15.3, you're going to be putting some hair on your chest.
Yeah, that's true. It doesn't taste like that though.
No, it doesn't. It's not. You know, it doesn't feel high alcohol. You know,
I
there's no
love.
burn.
I approve the labels. I print the labels, and it's kind of funny. I don't even know the alcohol. I'm like, wait, what is it? 15.3? I haven't looked at alcohol in like a decade, and it's so funny because I forget that people do. And they judge the wine when they see like you never heard of this, and you're like, oh, that's going to be way too alcoholic. I totally get that, and that's why the government like monitors us, so we can't lie. I can't put like 12.6.
Yeah,
But you have like a give or take of 1%, right? So
yeah,
it could be as high as 16.
So it could be 16 too. Who knows?
Who wants a weaker wine?
And who cares? Just drink it and have fun.
You print labels like months before you bottle. That's a whole nother topic. I know. And that's something with Napa Valley. If you notice, it's the boutique wineries aren't like chasing alcohol percentages, because once you get too high, you have a different tax bracket.
Right.
Like it's all monitored. So it's what our vineyards do, but the fruit and the pH and all that really makes that different. So about, I can't even do time, but about maybe 8 years ago, everyone was so cautious about alcohol. Like everybody wanted like 13%. They're like, oh, we're tired of these big, heavy cabs, or, you know, they're too big. And then thank goodness that that's no longer a conversation. Because if we can't make it any less. That's just what the fruit does. It's not like we're trying to make a big alcohol one, but like you said, you can't taste it.
If this was 12%, I'd be mixing it with vodka. So I'm glad it's where it is.
And you kind of save yourself $1 because you only need a bottle of wine to really get yourself going.
Yeah.
Seggy, I'm ashamed of you. You would be mixing it with straight no chaser vodka. What's the matter? Come on, man.
Valid.
How did you come up with the name Straight No Chaser? Who was the alcoholic in the group?
All of us at the time we were in college. But we took it from a Thelonious Monk jazz tune, Straight No Chaser. It's a jazz standard. And we thought that it really fit kind of the vibe of what we were doing in college, as well as what we were doing on stage. You know, just voices, straight, no chaser.
Oh, straight.
And I'm happy to send you a bottle of the vodka. We'll do this again, and we'll start with a tasting of the vodka.
Well, now with the new, I don't care what kind of vodka you send me, I will drink it or make it into hand sanitizer.
Well, it's good on the rocks. I call it the whiskey drinkers vodka, because you can just have it on the rocks, but it's also good in your favorite drinks. Espresso. I've had it in espresso martinis. Fantastic. Bloody Marys, fantastic. What do you make? I promise.
So I'm kicking myself because you guys came out last fall, I believe, and Segi
Thank you.
sent me a message. You guys are playing in Berkeley, I think, or somewhere over the Bay Area. And I couldn't make it to the show.
There it is.
Oh, it is. Truth.
Yeah, we have our own vodka, Straight No Chaser.
Can you distribute it to California?
We're
Working on.
Okay, so I would love that.
We'll send you some
I will
olive
send
oil.
you samples of. I'll send it from from our distiller, and because I'll have it sent to your work address, and then they can ship it directly. Otherwise, we ship
Legal.
olive oil.
That is a brilliant. So you guys are working on distribution?
Yeah, we're in a couple states right now.
Thank you for that. Thank you for that subject change. Yes, we are working on distribution.
Yeah, we're in a few states now. We're working with a couple outlets that are going to allow us to ship to more states for direct to consumer sales. So that's
a great thing. And then you obviously have a song called "Straight No Chaser."
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I can't wait to hear that song. I probably heard it. I just don't know that that's what the song was about. It's funny now that I have more time to actually pay attention. I'm like more focused.
Well, you gotta come see a show next time we're in the area, whether it's in the Bay Area or next time we come to Napa. Here's the funny thing though. Anytime we're in the Bay Area, we carve out time to come to Napa because half the group is into wine. So sort of like the NBA players do when they play in Golden State and they come to the Valley.
Oh yeah,
we do the same thing. So we carve out a couple, we carve out a day or two to come in and hang. So that'll definitely happen. You got to come out and see a show and hang.
So were you all at Ravana that day when I went? Yeah, you guys.
Yeah, so that was in between a couple of shows. So we took a little detour, went to Napa, and went to some of our favorite spots, and that's when I hit you up, and I was like, "Yo, come on by."
No, and that's when you were like, "Come watch us at in Berkeley." I think it was a show, and it was a Friday, and of course, I mean, we're only 4 years old, so you're building something. And if I leave for a night, it takes like a week to get back. I'm like, oh, I'm free.
Have you, Marcus, have you been over to Ravana?
Oh yeah, many a times. I actually was very.
He came over the day we were there.
No, I remember, but outside of being with us.
Yeah. So when Ravana opened up with Heidi Barrett in 2001, we got invited to their opening party, and it was one of the first wineries where I was like, Mr. Ravana was sitting in like this great big chair. Wine Spectator was out there for photographs, and I was like, this guy is legit. Like he is launching his brand in Napa Valley, like with Heidi Barrett, Wine Spectator. The property is beautiful. They had the most special grapes. Like I was like, oh my God, who is this guy? And he has 19 years later, he is still doing great things.
Well, you know what I love about the Valley too is that everybody's supportive of other brands, especially other brands that are doing it right. It's not like a lot of times you could be on a live stream like this and you could be hesitant to talk about another winery. But the reality is because there's so many wineries in the Valley and no person only drinks one wine, that you guys are all supportive of each other and promote other wineries. And I think that's a really cool thing.
Yeah, thank you. It's one of those things that is, I guess it's like music, right? Because you guys have artists that you guys are fans of, and because we don't all make wine from the same vineyard. I think if we were all making wine from the same vineyard, then you'd be like, oh, their wines, they make it better than ours. But we all have our own special farming, vineyard, soil. The soil is so different from across the street. And we know if that's going to make a great wine. And unfortunately, you could have $1 million acre, where the land is worth $1 million, 1 acre, and you plant grapes on it. And you can have right next door that's not worth $1 million because the soil is so different.
Right.
And so I think the respect of winemakers, the grapes, the passion, and again, you're not all drinking the same wine. I definitely drink our Kool-Aid in the sense that there's so many great Cabernets to drink out here.
I will drink the Kool-Aid any day.
Cheers to the Kool-Aid.
Cheers to the Kool-Aid. Cheers to the Kool-Aid.
I think that's
Cheers to the Kool-Aid.
Here's to the Kool-Aid.
I feel like that should be our tagline.
That should be our tagline. Cheers to the Kool-Aid, because I'm drinking it and it's delicious.
But I think, you know, as to piggyback off what you were saying, Brits, of how about people are supportive and everything. I think the way I would see it is that the winemakers don't see it as they're in competition with other winemakers. I think they view it as I'm in competition with myself. You know, each year, each vintage, I need to compete with my last vintage to make it stand out, to make it better than the last, you know, and like working with all the elements and all the things that you can't control certainly is going to make it a challenge, but it's, you know, you're kind of competing with yourself, which is, it's like golf in a sense, right? You know, you're working on that art yourself. Like that's why I think, you know, especially the boutique wineries are so supportive of the entire boutique family, because, you know, they're all doing kind of the same thing, family owned. It's everybody's wearing a million different hats under the same roof. It's great, you know.
And it is, and it's that exact same thing that you're saying. Like, we're in competition with Mother Nature. Like I was always told a great winemaker can make bad wine, or a great winemaker can make great wine out of the worst grapes, and a bad winemaker can make bad wine out of the best grapes. So you're in competition with Mother Nature, because when you have the best, we get interns, international interns from Spain, from Chile, from France, from Italy. We get interns from all over the world. And when they come to Napa Valley, they're so amazed that there's nothing that they have to do besides process the fruit, because there's no manipulation. The fruit is so pristine. It looks like it's straight out at a grocery store when you buy a table grape. I mean, every cluster is perfect. There's no like bad grape on that cluster. It's all like, you're just like, here's a cluster. And then you see the Instagram photos or the website photos of these perfectly, and those are, I mean, you can, every grape has the same sugar content and pH. So it makes it really easy when you're dealing with grapefruit from Napa Valley.
Yeah.
If you're anywhere else, trying to grow grapes in climates that don't ripen the fruit, or don't, or can't grow because it's too hot or too cold, then you find the manipulation of the wine, and then you're adding, you know, wood chips, you're adding different things to get flavor from those wines, which is not a bad thing, because there's great wines with all of it, but it's just not Napa Valley.
Yeah. Well, I think, you know, I think that's a good spot for us to wrap up on, you know, the whole idea of, you know, loving Napa Valley, loving these wines, you know, you spending part of your day with us, because I know that, Marcus, you had 15 different tastings today, and we appreciate you taking time to go through these wines with us.
Perfect, because I do have the bolognese.
Stop it! You're killing me.
Where are all the CDs?
And then we didn't even talk about this, but a platter of ribs, of homemade farm ribs.
Dude, what are you doing? Like,
I truly hope someone's going to eat all that.
I don't know what to say. Like, that's cruel. It's cruel, Marcus.
That's brutal.
Oh my God!
I'm being tortured.
All the aroma that's going on.
I'm gonna go absorb all my sadness with this wine.
Well, for all your viewers out there, if you come visit me and ask for me, I will set you up with a great, so you can try all of this. Oh my God! I'm like, you can imagine. I mean, does this platter even show up in the?
Oh my gosh.
Smell-o-vision.
It's not a matter of if, it's just a matter of when. When this is all done, I will be there. Sagi and Brits are welcome to join me, but I will be there.
Look at this. Can you see the steam?
I mean, that's beautiful.
It is beautiful.
So I don't know the time zone. Hopefully you're all hungry and you guys have a pot making short rib because that's what Brent's called out.
Yeah.
Short rib ragu or cornbread and ribs. Holy cow. And I still have
All of that.
If only this
Well,
happened
please.
in my real life.
Please don't let it go to waste.
This is amazing. Marcus, thank you for your time. I was in the middle of like a really nice sentimental wrap up, but you just rubbed my nose in a bunch of food, so it doesn't matter. Dude, thank you for your time. This was a pleasure. Everybody
much.
check out Brasswood. Go to Napa Valley. We've got people
Enjoy
that are back open and they're ready to accept visitors. So go support your favorite wineries and your favorite restaurants in the Valley.
Cheers to that, you guys.
Marcus,
Drink
thank you.
the Kool-Aid.
drink the Kool-Aid.
Drink
Thanks,
the
Marcus.
Kool-Aid.
Appreciate it, bud.
Thanks, Marcus.
Cheers.